Welcome to the second episode of the J&L Sports Show podcast. Thank you guys for joining us here. I have to my left
Noah Marks.
and to my right,
Luke Holman.
we're going to address some issues that happened in the first episode. I'm going to give Noah the time to explain himself onto why he was the most silent person in history. Go ahead, Noah.
Listen, I was not silent. The mic was on the table. I tended to kind of lean back in my chair a
The
bit.
entire episode he leaned back.
Hey, I like to be comfortable, right? I like to be comfortable.
So we fixed that by him. He's now going to be holding his mic, and if he
Yes.
puts it down, me
Yeah,
and Luke
as
get to.
Josh and I were doing. Because
Yeah,
that
like we
way
were doing
you
the
could
whole
hear
time.
us.
Because we were like, it's a little low, so we're gonna take it out of the stand. And Noah just refused to fucking listen to us for no
Listen,
reason.
I wanted to use the equipment we bought.
That's true. But whatever,
That's fair.
we're back.
So we're-
Hopefully sounding better this week.
Yes, hopefully. I got the headphones in this time, so if Noah does start getting quiet, you'll hear me yell at him in the middle of the show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. A weird week in sports.
For sure.
I mean, if a pandemic couldn't stop sports, who knew that absolute wild circumstances that put a pause on sports. But the first thing that happened in this week, literally about an hour after we recorded, and about an hour and a half after Noah saying that the Sixers coach was going to get fired in 3 to
Brett
4
Brown.
days.
Yeah. Fired it immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, it just got
Talk
uploaded
about
to
bad
Spotify.
timing. It was just like crazy.
They just couldn't fire him an hour
Yeah,
earlier.
no, yeah. We
Would have been great to have like breaking news on the show. That would have been cool, but
Yeah.
had to.
Whatever.
well.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We got
our first
prediction right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
That's true. We'll see.
The
We'll see
NFL
about the NFL predictions because
Speaking of
some
the
of Josh's
NFL,
are pretty rough.
we are how many days away? Nine
9
away from opening day. I did not think we were ever going to be here. Like the pandemic.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
If you asked me back in like April or May, I was like, no shot.
Yeah, and all those people online every time there's an NFL post or anything, they're like, oh, the season's not going to happen. Yeah,
So it doesn't
Eat it
even,
now.
doesn't even
Yeah.
matter.
let's go. We're going to talk about some NFL news, some Red Sox trade news, other MLB trade. The NBA heading. I think are they all in the second round now, or is Game 7 of the Rockets and?
There's 2 Game 7s for the first round.
Okay, so we still got 2 more first round games, and then some NHL news. Bruins just. I mean,
Shit in the
Sad.
bed.
you can't look so good after the first round.
They
and
just
then
they went into a series against a better team. And
Did you
just
see-
Didn't.
Did you guys see McAvoy's injury?
No.
Oh my dude, he like bent down and his head went directly into the wall. It was insane. It was like when you step on a turtle in Mario and their head goes just into their shell. It would literally look like I swear to God, I
What
thought
a
he broke
great
his neck.
comparison.
Hey, he's okay. He got up, he's skated around for a little bit. He's good. The first major news story that happened this week is reports out of the Washington Post that Dan Snyder was more involved with the sexual harassment case than we first believed. Well, that they first reported. I think everyone
Yeah.
kind of believed that Dan Snyder was doing some bullshit there. So the day before the Washington football team changed their name from the Redskins to the
Washington
the
football
greatest
team.
team name of all
The
time.
Washington football team. Yes.
A lot of thought into that one.
Reports came out that high up in the organization, there was a disgusting group of individuals that were taking advantage of the women. But in that initial article, they never mentioned Dan Snyder's name completely. Like Dan Snyder came out and was like, "I had no idea this was happening," but also,
Yeah.
let's not believe the Washington Post is basically what he said, which is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that came out right away. He was able to weasel his way out of it again. The Washington Post this week just interviewed 100 employees of past and present and found Dan Snyder is a real dirtbag. Former cheerleader Tiffany Bacon Scrubbery, I think.
That's a last
Scrowby?
name that you probably butchered.
Scrowby?
But
Yeah,
Strawberry.
Yeah, I mean...
Something like that.
I didn't look up the pronunciation.
Tiffany.
but-
Tiffany.
Tiffany Bacon.
Tiffany Bacon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Explained an incident where Snyder introduced her to one of his friends, Anthony Roberts, who is also another thing I'm gonna...
Ophthalmologist.
Thank God you're here.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I spent all week looking at that word, trying to figure out how I can get it together on this episode. Say that again?
Ophthalmologist.
Thank God.
Do we know what that is?
Ooh.
You continue the story. I'm gonna look it up. So
All right. So he works for the team. We'll get
Yes.
that.
He's a
He's
doctor. Some kind of doctor.
a staff member.
Yeah. And so he told her to. So he introduced her to his friend Anthony Roberts and told her that she should quote take him upstairs to get to know them better. They were at a hotel room, and then
Yeah.
that's disgusting. That's
Terrible.
real bad. And then more has come out about the photo shoot that happened in 2013. In 2013, there was a rumor that they made the cheerleaders get nude for a calendar for like higher up ticket sales and like luxury owners, which is again not
Absolutely wild.
Yeah.
insane that happens. Like in 2013, where I feel like there was enough power where they can say the problem is when you get into that position, it's usually young girls.
Yeah.
And the initial report 3 weeks ago was that one of the people said to the cheerleaders, "If you don't want to do it, there's 100 other girls that would gladly be at Washington."
Yeah, because young girls are very impressionable, easy to manipulate.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have that type of money. I mean,
Yeah, and
obviously
you
not
have-
all young girls, obviously, but when you're taking advantage of someone, they know their target audience.
Yeah,
and they
when you
know who
have,
they're going after.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
a
just
job like that.
awful situation.
Because they've been, striving for.
Did you
months,
get
maybe even
what-
Years to
Yeah,
get that
it's
position.
it's basically like a eye and vision doctor type thing. So
So-
like they specialize.
So
with,
an ophthalmologist, not an ophthalmologist.
yes.
So you spelt it wrong when you were typing it into the notes.
No, it's spelled
No,
like
that's how
that.
it's spelled.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
You ever heard of a silent letter, Noah?
I mean,
I know you know what
It-
silent
it-
is. We all listened to the first fucking episode last week.
It's spelled weird, but yeah. Essentially what it is. A doctor that deals with eyes and vision.
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, weird they haven't had a good quarterback, so you should probably get fired. But yeah, so the calendar we all heard about before, but then more things has come out that not only were the sponsors and suit holders allowed to get the calendar, but some of them were allowed to go to the photo shoot to look at, quote, up close access to the photo shoot, and allowed select cheerleaders to be, again, I'm going to quote it, I'm being very careful here just because Dan Snyder is a millionaire
Yeah.
who has sued low people before. Not that we are nowhere near
I
where
mean,
Dan
you're,
Snyder's
you're
going to
just
listen
you're
to us.
just reporting.
I just want to make sure.
reports.
Yeah, I just
Like,
want to make
it's
sure I
not-
have everything. Like, I want to make sure I
Yeah.
say all of everything I say about Dan Snyder today was CBS, CBS Sports, Washington Post, and ESPN. I have those cited. Everything I say about Dan Snyder has been reported from those over the past 10 or since 2013. So yeah, some of the sponsors were allowed to select cheerleaders to be, quote, personal escorts at a nightclub,
Yikes.
which is like just being a
You
fake.
just can't do that.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
I
Can't do
think
that.
it's just faking a relationship at
Yeah.
super uncomfortable.
Just can't do
Yeah.
that.
The NFL is, when I first wrote this down, I was in shock that the NFL hadn't already announced that they were going to step and investigate. They just did it today.
Yeah, I saw that.
They just did it today. They just said Dan Snyder has been manipulating the NFL for the past 10 years. Everyone has known he's a scumbag, all that, and somehow the NFL now wants to investigate. I mean, the reports have been out for almost a week now. I don't know. I just not a fan of Dan Snyder.
No, I mean, I don't know how
I don't-
anyone
yeah.
could possibly be a fan of him.
Yeah.
He's and if we had Dan Snyder right here on
Sitting
this
direct.
sitting right in front of us,
I'd be a little uncomfortable.
I'd have some
Yeah.
words. I'd have some words.
Well, yeah, he's an absolutely awful person.
I don't know how no one has ever like spoke up to him before and been like, "Yo, Dan, you know that you're like a real piece of shit."
Well,
right?"
it's
Because
because
he has
lo-
a lot of money.
yeah,
that,
that's-
and he has a lot of power. So, like, if you're someone in the Redskins organization,
Whoa. Washington football
Washington
team
football-
organization. Let's go.
sorry,
Fact checker over here.
yeah,
yeah.
there's gonna be multiple slip-ups on that. But
Yeah,
anyways,
this season's
as I
gonna
was
be
saying,
tough.
if you are a member of that organization, a staff member, and you just randomly decide to like, because one, if I guarantee you, like in the past, there's definitely have been staff members that have been like aware of what's going on and have left,
Yeah.
but like have been scared and are like peer pressured not to say anything or like not to because
Well, like that cheerleader.
one, if they said something and Dan Snyder was like, nah, could completely discredit this person and just ruin their career and just say,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this person was
Yeah,
awful.
anyone within the organization, if they say something, they're now out of a job.
Yeah.
And outside of the organization. So I'll get to that in a second. I just want to, like, again, if I had a personal phone call with Dan Snyder, I have no idea. Like, the first thing I tell him is to get out of Washington. First, well, the NFL.
I don't know how he's not.
I don't know how they allow him to be there. The Washington fans hate him. Nobody likes him in
they haven't-
Washington.
What recent success? How long has he been there?
17 seasons.
Have they had any success in the last 17 years?
He is 142 and 193 and 1. 2-5 in the playoffs.
So no.
So he's had 7 playoff games in 17 years.
Yep.
That's tough.
Yep. Real bad. They've also had 8 head coaches in those 17
Yeah,
years.
I mean, there's been a lot of defunct organizations. Just they like the Browns being one of them, but like the Browns have tried to like remodel their entire organization multiple times because they realized it was not working. But it's just wild that like there's no way that there were certain members of like there's no way that other people within the Washington organization weren't aware of what was going on.
They
That,
were
like, if-
involved.
But like
what it looks
people,
like.
people that weren't though,
Yeah.
or like there's no way that someone like the other coaches or other officials, or
Even
other
players,
teams,
maybe.
But like, how do you not? How does that happen and no one knows about it?
It might
How does
happen way
no
more
NFL
than we
league
think.
officials know?
Yeah.
It probably does.
It might
if
not
we're-
just be Dan Snyder.
It's probably not. It's like the world's a mess up place.
My
It's-
problem with Dan Snyder, like everything, it's not about just the countless women and employees that he's had that have been come out with sexual assault. It's everything else that he's done. He's ruined everything for Washington. To him, fucking countless years of people yelling at him, begging, just change the team name, and him citing,
He's like, nah, it's a
oh,
prideful
culture.
thing.
It's culture. That's what he kept saying. They love it. That's what he kept saying. He said they
Bet.
love
Nobody
it.
loves it.
Nobody.
Bet. That's why it doesn't exist anymore because
Yeah,
people
and
like
I
well,
don't
why
think
it doesn't
not.
exist anymore is because he said he was going to keep this name until Precious FedEx told him we're changing the team name and unsponsoring you.
Yeah.
So as soon as his money was in,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
he
that's-
decided to
that's
pull
true.
out. I mean, he doesn't do anything. He got someone. This is reported by Washington Post. Jason Reed, who is gonna have a DC radio show, criticized Dan Snyder and the higher ups.
Yeah.
And his show was taken off the air.
Jesus.
He got fired from DC radio because he was complaining about Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder has had this habit of throwing money at aging talent for no reason. Who was that tight end that just retired this year? He was on the Niners for a while.
Was
and
it Vernon Davis?
Vernon Davis, yeah. Dude, he's like, they threw like millions of dollars at him,
Yeah.
and he was like 32. He was a shell of his former self. Adrian Peterson, Josh Norman in recent years, who have been shells of their former selves that they
Yeah.
just throw a ridiculous amount of money at. RG3, whose legs were in pieces, and he kept playing him.
Yeah.
He ruined RG3's career because RG3 needed rehab. He needed help, and he refused to let him do it. And because of that, RG3 was pushed out of Washington by the fans.
Yeah.
The fans hated RG3, and it wasn't really his fault. He couldn't fucking walk the right way
Yeah.
because Dan
Yeah.
Snyder kept putting him out
It's
there
just
when his ankle was in
mismanaged injury
pieces.
after mismanaged injury. It's
It-
tough.
And if you look up the top 10 worst free agent signings, like a list of the top 10 worst free agent signings in like the past 20 years, the Washington Redskins dominate that list. They just throw money at random people who have, maybe done well 6 years ago. They're terrible. I'm over Dan Snyder. I can't believe he's still in the league. He needs to be gone.
Yeah, hopefully the NFL like deciding they're actually going to be like front runner on the investigation when they
Yeah.
actually find out everything that was going on.
Can they
There's no way.
force him to sell the team? Is that possible? Like, can they? Do you think they
I mean,
have
he
that
could
power?
probably get arrested
I
for
think
some
so.
of if he's facing legal
Well, yeah. I
charges.
guess that is
for-
true that
yeah,
he is.
He's, yeah.
But what if the NFL took it over so that it doesn't go to legal?
But like if it does, that's an awful look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But then-
already it's
I
an
mean,
awful
yes,
look.
but like
He's
if
an
the
awful
NFL
look.
takes it over and it just kind of like pushes it to the side and it's not talked about, that's not going to go away.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like
I would
the
think-
Washington football team is going to be talked about over the next couple of years. Because one, they're going to need an
A name.
actual name,
Yeah.
but like they have to like rebrand that franchise now.
Yeah.
So
One
you-
of
you
one of
can't
the
just-
most disgusting things that have happened. I mean, outside of obviously the recent reports are definitely the most disgusting thing. But when we talk about just inhumane things that have ever happened, it's got to be the doctor telling Trent Williams, "You have a headache. You have a mild
Oh,
concussion,"
yeah.
and he has fucking a tumor.
Yeah, they didn't tell him he had cancer. That's crazy.
That's insane. How they didn't tell him he had cancer, and then try to punish him for him wanting to sit out because he didn't. After the cancer was done, he was like, "I don't want to play for this team."
Yeah.
And they try to punish him for sitting out.
Wait, what kind of cancer was it again?
I think it was a tumor in the brain. I'm not really sure.
I'll fact check.
Yeah.
They could have gotten him killed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, any cancer can you?
Well, yeah, but I'm
basically
saying, like,
him playing football, continuously getting hit in the head as a lineman.
no, him not knowing he has cancer because the
Yeah,
doctor
that's what
told
I'm
him
saying.
no and not getting treatment whatsoever and just letting the tumor grow and grow.
I'm not sure if it was exactly brain cancer, but it was a form of cancer, and it was ruled off as like a
Yeah.
concussion, which is insane.
Yeah.
Something that, like, as a doctor, your job.
I think, yeah, that doctor shouldn't have a job anymore. You should have whatever medical license revoked.
There's not many people in the
sure.
Washington organization that should have a job anymore.
I mean, yeah.
No, make sure you just move a little bit closer.
All right.
Getting a fact check on that, Luke.
Yeah, it's a long ad.
Yeah. So yeah,
Dermatofibrosarcoma protuberans.
yeah,
That's
English.
what it is.
Oh.
Doesn't
English?
DFSP
Yeah. So
form of cancer.
Where was the cancer?
Says he had a tumor removed from his skull.
So
So,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
pretty life-threatening. Like,
Yeah.
as far as cancer goes, obviously.
Yeah,
cancer's
yeah, cancer's
life-threatening
always-
for
He had a
as far as
cancerous growth on his scalp, and his team didn't do anything
that's
about
very
it.
serious.
Jesus Christ.
Could have easily died. Like, how
That's
long did they wait
insane.
until they told him? Or did he find out on his
Says
own?
he was
think he had to
asked
find
by
out
a
on his own.
reporter when he was first approached by the Washington team doctor about this, and he said probably like 6 years ago.
So he
Yo,
went
what?
6 years having cancer.
He's had
not
cancer for
knowing?
6
He said
years.
the lump continued to grow over the years. It
How
was
is he not
concerning,
dead?
but there was no pain involved.
That's crazy.
If I'm being told by the very people who I put my career in the hands of, they're telling me that I'm fine, then I'm fine. That's how I looked at it. Williams said team
I mean, that's how
doctors
you
did not
should
tell
look
him
at
to see
it.
a specialist until this off season. He had surgery in the winter. Needed 350 stitches and 75 staples on his head.
Oh my
Holy shit.
God,
The
dude!
incision was about the size of a softball.
Just throw Washington out. Get him out of here. 31 teams is enough. I mean,
Wild that he's
Jesus
playing.
Christ.
Quote,
Yeah, he's
we-
for the night he
quote,
got traded.
We literally caught it within weeks of metastasizing through to my brain to my skull.
So they were pretty close to killing him.
Yeah.
Did he have to,
Extracting
did they say
it
if
was
he had
the
to
only
find?
thing they could do. Doing radiology on it would have put a cap on my life. I think 15 years was the most I would have had after I started chemo. So I had to cut it out.
Jesus.
Oh my God!
That's insane.
Wild.
So, in case you weren't anti-Washington before,
Yeah.
fuck
most of those are quotes
Washington.
from
Yeah.
him himself. But yeah, no, that's awful situation.
That is
Washington doctor should be arrested.
yeah,
how do you-
absolutely. Did
That's-
they
yeah,
say
that's
whether or not he had to
medical
find it
malpractice for sure.
by himself, or did the team doctors eventually say?
They said this off season they told him to go see a specialist on it. But that the growth on his head has been growing for the last 6 years.
Yo, the Washington team doctor looked at this man and said, "You know, I know I've been telling you for about 6 years that."
But this
That
lump
you-
just keeps getting
But
bigger.
not even
I don't
that.
know.
He literally said, "You should probably go see a doctor." The Washington
they
Redskins
they
team
just-
doctor told him to go see a fucking doctor.
Yeah, they just didn't tell him before that. They just shrugged it
Jesus
off.
Christ.
That's
He said that he
insane.
had no pain in it, but like, how do you see a lump on a dude's head that gets bigger every time you see him, and you're
Yeah.
like,
You don't tell him
whatever,
that- yeah,
whatever.
it's fine.
Looks like a tumor, whatever. Wild.
I'm an absolute. I mean, I knew about the. I knew about the whole him being like lied or not lied about, but him being told it wasn't cancer.
Yeah.
But I did not know that it was 6 years. I thought it was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I
that
didn't
he
know it
was
was
the-
that long.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Crazy that they caught it like 6 weeks before
He almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It would
before it would have been attached
If
to
it
his
went
brain.
if it went to his brain and he still was able to get out of that, he might be able to get some compensation now. I'm
Probably.
sure he
that's
can
all.
sue that team.
That's all legal issues. That's all. I mean, possibly. I wouldn't
There's
surprise
no,
me.
like,
Probably. If they
y-
can prove that
you
that Washington's doctor could, or that the Washington's doctor saw it and didn't say anything, then yeah, it's got to be some type of.
that's insane.
It's got to be a crime for sure.
That's all right. Moving on from Washington, I don't even want to get them the fucking time of day anymore. From one injury to another, Derwin James, safety for the Chargers, out for 6 to 8 months. This is a huge loss for the Chargers.
It's a big loss, but I'm not sure the Chargers are really expected to do a lot this year anyway.
I'm not sure they were, but on Hard Knocks, episode 2, they highlighted a lot of Derwin James, or like just they talked a lot about him, and they were banking on him to have a great season with Pat Mahomes in their division, who they have to play twice. You can obviously sling it. Drew Lock, who proved last year that he has an arm, so they were hoping that he can lock down the secondary. I mean,
It's tough.
It is.
He's a great talent. Like
Really?
He is.
that team,
Oh, yeah,
like
he's one of the better
record-wise,
safeties in the
wasn't
league.
looking to be anything like crazy good.
It was
but-
a rebuilding year.
yeah, but like losing like one of the main pieces, if not the main piece
Yeah.
on your defense.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they still have a solid defense though. Like, I know they have Casey Hayward at corner.
Yep.
Joey
still.
Bosa's
Chris
Joey
Harris.
Bosa,
Chris Harris
now.
at corner.
yeah,
That
so,
was
like,
nice.
So if they had, so if they kept Derwin James, they probably would have had one of the best secondaries in the league.
He was like, I don't expect the Chargers to do anything. Oh,
It's
they
more
could
of the
possibly have one of the
offensive
best
side.
offenses.
Yeah,
Like
on the
Austin
offensive
Eckler's
side.
still there, Keenan Allen and stuff. But like you're
We
going.
don't know what
with-
Justin Herbert's gonna do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Like as far as in the division that they are, it's kind of
Yeah.
I know I've been telling you guys for weeks to watch Hard
Tough.
Knocks, but at least watch the last episode. Not the one. There's one that comes out in an hour, but episode 3, Chris Harris versus Keenan Allen in practice was electric. It was some of the because they highlighted the fact that they've played each other multiple times because the Broncos are in the division. So they've showed highlights of them in a game, and then watching them actively make each other get better is the greatest thing to see. I couldn't imagine being in that practice, like seeing them battle it out. It's definitely check that out if you haven't. What else? We got Leonard Fournette
wild.
released by
Yeah,
the
he
Jaguars.
cleared waivers today. Officially
Yep,
a
at
free
4
agent.
p.m. Yep.
Officially
Yeah.
a free agent.
I was pretty shocked when I first saw that he was released.
Like they just didn't. Like I saw something saying that like they just didn't. Like no one was gonna because they
Trade
knew
for
he
him.
was gone. Like if you're coming at it from a different team, like that if he's not traded, like there's a very strong chance they're gonna release him just because of their whole. Jaguars are whole nother issue, but like
Yeah.
just because of that whole situation, that there's a good chance he's gonna be released,
Well-
even if he's not traded. But then, so you're not gonna like offer a whole lot if you're just gonna outbid yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they're saying that they were barely getting like late round draft picks for him. They're like, we're not trading a guy that we drafted in
Yeah.
the first round a
For
few years ago
7 is what they
for
were
like a
offering.
7th rounder. We're not doing
Yeah.
that. So then
Does
they
not
just
make
cut
sense.
ties because technically, if I don't know how it works as far as now that he cleared waivers, but they might be if he gets signed as a free agent to another team, they might get a compensation pick. So that would be the only thing they could possibly get.
Yeah.
What round that's in, I don't know, but
luckily for the Steelers, he will not be beating them in any conference championship games soon.
hey,
for
he might be
Jacksonville.
on. He might be on the Steelers, man. Like I
Not
don't
a bad
know.
call. I mean, what do you guys have? James Conner as your
James Conner,
starter?
Jalen Samuels. We just drafted McFarland and Benny Snell. Like we have a decent backfield, but like if you have the ability
To get
and a
Leonard
cap
Fournette,
space
yeah.
Yeah.
to add Leonard Fournette as the number 2.
I think
Does
he.
anybody know how much he's asking for?
No idea. He was just put on the waivers.
Yeah, I
today,
don't
so I'm
know.
not really sure.
I don't know. So
He
as
hasn't
far
really
as
had a conference or anything. I think he's going to go to a team that already has a running back. I think with how well we saw the Niners dominate last year with 3 running backs, and how well the Packers at least ran the ball
Yeah.
with two dominant running backs, I think the idea of running backs get hurt too quickly. If you can have 2 good running backs back to back, they probably won't get hurt as much. You can balance the reps
Yeah.
out a lot better,
Yeah.
and you're constantly strong in that. And I know that's not real genius insight of me to say, well, if you have 2 good running backs, you're probably better off. Yeah, but I don't think Leonard Fournette's going to be worth too much if he was being offered fucking 7th round picks.
Yeah.
He can't be too expensive. He
Yeah, I
could
know.
go.
It's all about asking price. It's as far as teams that are bidding on him. If there's like a few, like they could have a bidding more, but at the same time, it's someone that like
He could go to the Saints with a possible opening up at running back there, with Alvin Kamara sitting out for the past 3 days, I believe. He just said that he's going to report tomorrow, but that
Yeah.
was after the Saints said that they're open to trade for
Do you
Kamara.
think the Saints saying they were open to trade was like a little bit
Manipulation
of a-
move?
Yeah, a little bit of a.
they're like,
scare
oh, you
tactic.
want to sit out? No, you can go to like.
It's very possible. That I do think that, or even if they never said that they were going to do that, the owner probably just told one of his leakers, like, yo, just maybe hint at the fact that we're open
Yeah.
to trade.
Yeah, no, what's it called? Kamara and his agent said that they denied saying that they asked for a trade
Yeah.
and like said that he was going to report. So in the next few days, that could just be like a non-situation because like the sides, like the Saints and Kamara have been like talking about an extension or in the recent past, as far as like how close to that they've become on that. I have no idea because like that's disclosed conversation, so who
Yeah.
knows actually how close they were as far as how much money Kamara's asking for.
I'm guessing
because-
not very close if Kamara decided to sit out for 3 days.
I don't know. I think last week he got some sort of, I can't think of whatever, some sort of like shot in his back, like just like something that players do to recover from whatever small injury he had during cortisone shot. I want to say it was.
That. I was thinking of
I read something about it.
cell. They'd shoot have like a shot in your spine.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that serious. It was the
it's supposed to,
cortisone
like,
shot. So it was
rebuild nerves or some shit.
Yeah, it was something minor that he was out of practice for a few days, I believe. But like, so that like he sat out, but that wasn't related to him sitting out for contract
Yeah.
reasons. But I think him saying that like if he does in fact go back to practice tomorrow, like that's a non-issue that a week from now they could be close to. And I as far as extension wise, I don't know.
Who on the Chargers just sat out?
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, and he just got
He's on the Broncos.
He would no. Someone on the Chargers just held out.
I said he's on the Broncos now. Like
No.
just held out
Yeah, just held out and was given $13 million.
like this season.
Yeah,
Running back.
yeah. I think it was a running back.
I mean, they have Austin Eckler, but other than
No,
that,
it wasn't
because
a
Melvin
running back
Gordon
then. Yeah.
held out last season.
Because I know I just saw it on Hard Knocks. He held out for a couple days, but he was at practice. But he held out, but he decided to stay at practice, and he was almost like coaching until he got his extension, and they decided to rework his deal where they got him $13 million.
Look that up. I don't know what running back you're talking about because they have Austin Eckler. And other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I have.
I don't remember if they drafted. Did they draft a running back?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't even know. There's a lot of running
The
backs in
only-
the draft, so I
The
don't.
only player I know they drafted was Herbert. Other than that, didn't really follow their draft picks that well.
I don't know, but yeah, no. Happened with Melvin Gordon, then
Yeah,
now he's a
I'm
Bronco.
gonna look
So
up who sat out because I know it was someone big. And Joey Bosa was saying, "I really hope we sign him."
Is it on the defensive end or offensive end?
You know, it's a wonderful question you're asking.
Should probably have
Melvin
these things.
Ingram. Melvin Ingram sat out because he was unhappy with his current
Oh.
contract, and they
That name sounds familiar.
reworked it so that he can get 13,000
What
or
position?
13 million. What was it? 13 million added to his salary, guaranteed.
What
Yeah,
position is he?
guaranteed.
I
Oh,
forget.
that's another great question you're
Defensive
asking.
end.
Defensive
Defensive
end. Yeah.
said it was a running back.
You're
I was like,
you're
what
full
are
of
you
good
talking
questions.
about?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I was thinking of what you said earlier.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah,
Is that
last
the
year.
same first name?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess they both are
Yeah.
Melvins.
They do. They very unique name. I don't know if that's like a West thing, but I've never met anyone on the East Coast that's named
Melvin.
Melvin.
Melvin. Interesting. Interesting.
Know
name.
a couple Marvins,
But
but I don't know Melvin.
so what if?
Good name though.
What if
Definitely.
Tampa's like, let's just go get another running back? I don't know what their cap room is, but what if they're like, let's get Fournette and like actually
If
make
Tampa
this,
Bay
Yeah.
gets Leonard Fournette,
But like, what if they did like we just want to be an offensive fucking powerhouse and just
I
absolutely
will
destroy.
actually lose my mind.
Like,
I don't
a
know. what I would do.
McCoy and Fournette.
Is it even worth watching football at that point, or do we just put millions of dollars on the fact that Tampa Bay is winning the Super Bowl and probably
I don't know. The Chiefs still exist.
the
but
Chiefs do exist? That is fair. That is fair. Where's the money that the Chiefs have? Because
I have no idea.
at the beginning of the offseason, they had $177. And they've signed...
Like just 177.
Yeah, they had the lowest cap space, and it was like 177, and the Patriots were in second with like 1,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they had. I remember seeing it, and I was like, "That's."
Did they have a lot of players coming off contracts?
I
They
have
had to
no
have.
idea. Well, they just signed Patrick Mahomes,
Well, yeah, they signed
which
players
didn't
to
really matter because
extensions.
Patrick Mahomes got
That
a
was an ex-
salary
yeah,
cap
that
portion.
was an
Yeah.
It was an extension.
But like they had to have,
So it wasn't for
players
this
come
year.
off
It wasn't
cap.
this year's money.
or else they'd be over it. You kind of,
Yeah, I know. That's what,
I don't know.
last I heard, they were broke, and then they were just like, "Here's all of the money in our organization for Pat Mahomes," and then George Kittle got a deal, and what's his name was like.
Oh, Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce was like, "Oh, I should
But I think
I
Kelce
should probably get a
Probably
deal. I should probably get a deal. I just won the goddamn Super Bowl
think-
against the tight end that just got a deal.
Yeah.
I think Kelsey's was also an extension though, so it's not this year's money.
It's next year's money. Well, they better hope. They better fucking hope that they win the Super Bowl this year
Yeah.
because they're gonna be
Or
broke.
they better hope that all their players take fucking big
Pay
pay
cuts.
cuts.
None of the
stick
deals
together.
have come out because they just signed. They just extended Andy Reid, right?
Yeah,
None
and
of
their
the
GM.
none of the numbers have come out for that.
I don't think so. I didn't
No.
see any.
Do coaches get part of the salary cap as well, or is that a whole different?
I think it's a separate thing.
I think it might
Yeah.
be like that
It's
tight, like a
separate.
different salary cap for GMs and
Yeah.
coaches.
So that whole situation's interesting. Earl Thomas is still a free agent
Ah.
since the last time we talked.
Think it's going to be another Antonio Brown situation where no one wants to deal with him.
If he keeps his mouth shut now, the biggest problem with Antonio Brown is
is just once he was gone,
He
it
didn't
just
shut up.
every single
he never
day it
shut
was
up
a new
about it.
thing that he
Yeah.
did. So it was just too much.
That's true.
It became too much. It was like every single day it was like, oh, go on Twitter, let's see what Antonio Brown
Yeah.
said today.
and all the rumors of Baltimore possibly getting Antonio Brown after how they just cut Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's
Yeah.
no way he's gonna
But
be
yeah,
Raven.
I don't know, because punching a teammate in practice, that's pretty tough.
Let's not act like it's never been done before.
I mean, yeah, but
DeAndre Hopkins and I forgot who it was, but it's a classic video of a practice where DeAndre Hopkins is just just over this dude, slamming him on the ground during practice.
yeah, but wasn't that a joint practice with two teams though?
That's a possibility.
I think it was a joint practice.
But I know
How's
for a
it-
fact there's definitely
I
been
don't know
training
if it
camp
was with
fights.
Washington football team at the time. I'm trying to remember what team that. I've seen that video.
It
Okay,
might have
yeah.
been.
I could not tell you what the player was now.
Yeah, no.
Whatever corner it was.
But I
that
remember,
was
yeah,
talking
it was a joint
trash,
practice because I remember there was mic'd up and
Yeah.
talking trash.
DeAndre Hopkins
DeAndre
the entire rest of the game DeAndre Hopkins was talking shit the entire time.
Okay. And Jadeveon Clowney is also still a free agent. I looked more into it as to like why we're 9 days away from the first NFL game and Jadeveon Clowney is not signed by a team. His asking price is still at $17 million a year, and it's
There's
just
no
not
way.
coming down.
There's no
And
way.
no teams we're not doing that, and he just is. So like now it's like proposed that like he might decide to opt out of the season and just take a year off.
I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll.
But like we're 9 games away. Like this has been a story that's happened this entire like it's not like he became a free agent a month ago. He's been a free agent this entire.
he did this.
offseason.
He did this last year. He didn't. I don't think he joined the.
No, he got traded to Seattle.
Yeah, but
from
he didn't
Houston.
join training camp until like the week before.
No, he got traded like mid-season.
Then it was Houston he sat out for. Or I remember he waited. I remember at some point he did wait till like the last week of the season.
But like we are
the
9
last week of
days.
the-
We are
I think-
9
I think
days
He was
away.
a part of the team then.
I think he'll be in a team week 5, week 6. I think he'll weigh his options. If the Buccaneers are 6-0, I think he might go. I'll take a deal for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just interesting. Logan Ryan finally signed with a team. He was the other free agent
Yep, yep.
along with Clowney that just
Signed back
wasn't-
with the Giants, right? I
No, he was on the Titans.
Yeah. He used to be
Was
on
he-
the Patriots.
Yeah, I know he was on the Patriots.
He was
I
on
know
the Titans.
something about him having
He
a
what's-
homecoming. I
Yeah,
saw.
he what's it called? I think pretty sure he's from.
He's from New York.
I wanna
Okay.
say.
Well, the shadows of New York, New Jersey. Let's.
But like
Yeah.
home,
At
I don't
life.
know, hometown, whatever.
Yeah.
And Ngakwe traded to the Vikings.
Yeah. A
It's-
second rounder and a conditional 5th rounder.
Big for the Vikings because they lost,
Yeah, they lost
Mhm.
Everson Griffin. So you just add another young piece to your defense, kind of
Yeah.
attempt to refortify
Jaguars
that.
get rid of another good player from
Yeah.
their roster.
So now that free
You hate
agency
to see it.
is
Not
basically
really.
wrapped up, Who won? What team won this offseason? It's got to be the Buccaneers. There's no way. It's
I
not
mean,
the
in entirety, as far
Yeah, I'd say Buccaneers.
I say Buccaneers first, Chiefs second, just because they guaranteed Patrick Mahomes for years to come, and they guaranteed.
I'm trying to think of other teams that like supremely improved. That like the team they have on the field this year is
Didn't
significant.
the Dolphins have a
The
pretty
Dolphins
good
had a pretty good offseason. They got
Yeah.
Kyle Van
I
Noy.
feel like early on in the
Tua.
offseason they had a lot of big signs. And I think
Yeah,
they
Byron
of-
Jones as well is on. I think he's
end
on the
of
Dolphins
last
now.
season they made, or no, I think they made some trades mid-season
Yeah.
last year. That also.
Well, yeah,
kinda
I might be the
set up for the
Dolphins because
future.
Matt Breida now, Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy. I mean,
I'm
It-
talking.
it
I'm
all
talking.
depends
How
on-
is this going to adapt to the field, guys? Come on. How,
I mean, it depends on the success of Tua or Ryan Fitzpatrick, whoever happens to be the starter. I don't fully
If
know.
we're thinking best team overall from free agency, it's probably Bucks. But if you're thinking, slowly at my mouth, what do you?
I can just hear it, and it's just
But
you're slowly.
Yeah.
That's as you talk.
But I'm saying like from point A to point B, the most improvement, I think it might be the Dolphins. Like
Like-
they're still not one of the top teams in the league for sure, but I think they might have improved.
As for which team will have a better
Quite a bit.
record?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can
The
say that
Bucks.
because if you
It's-
look at individual improvements, Jameis Winston to Tom Brady should automatically make them up there, and then you have O.J. Howard, who's already a great tight end, and then you build that tight end again with Rob Gronkowski, who we don't know how he's gonna act. We have no
Exactly.
idea how he'll
That's
be.
the thing with Tom
Yeah.
Brady and Gronk. You don't know how that's going to end up.
A new team, yeah. What about speaking of Tom Brady, and just him like being on a new team? Let's talk about Bill Belichick for a second.
The Subway commercial.
Yo, not only his Subway, he is a different man. He's letting Cam Newton jam out, pick whatever songs he wants during training camp. He's letting Cam Newton have all this freedom. Meanwhile, he just told Tom Brady, "Yeah, I know you just gave us 6 Super Bowl rings, but we had 6 Super Bowl rings because you didn't have any input on the team, and so
Playing music at practice and having input on the team, two completely.
you think
different
Tom
things.
Brady was allowed to pick the music at practice? I bet you he wasn't.
I feel like it
I
was
don't
Tom
know.
Brady's team for the
No,
last like.
I'm saying the Patriot way has always
15
been they're
years.
not allowed to have fun at practice. They're not allowed to. You see Cam Newton, Julian Edelman dancing now.
I
in
mean, there's
training
a
camp.
huge difference between like the
I'm not
person
saying
that Tom
I'm
Brady
no
is and the person
obviously
that Cam Newton
yeah
is.
no, but
That's
to
just-
allow him
that's
to
just Cam
act
Newton.
to allow him to act that way is crazy for the Patriots.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if Cam Newton goes out there and performs, it's his team. He's leading the team. You're not going to suppress his personality. That's
They
just who he
suppressed
is.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady asked, "Hey, can I have a little bit of offensive input?" And Bill Belichick looked at him and said, "We won 6 Super Bowl championships without your input. Why the fuck do you think your input's going to help us win another?"
I don't know. I don't know if they like suppressing his person. Like I don't know about that.
It's
Well, I
happening.
mean-
in New
like,
England.
sup-
it's very well
Can you
talked
imagine
about in
them
New
being
England.
like telling Cam Newton you can't like be as outward with
yeah,
everything,
yeah, they've done it
I
to
don't know.
multiple people.
but like
Randy Moss wasn't allowed to have fun on the practice field. And Randy Moss was one of the best wide receivers of all time. And he was not allowed to have fun on the practice field.
Well-
He has come out and said that. Rob Gronkowski hated practice for the Patriots because he was not allowed to be Rob Gronkowski.
Well, without Brady there, it's a new era. Maybe he's taking a different.
You think
approach.
Brady was the serious one? Brady was leading the Patriots way, and Bill was like,
I mean, I'm
"Can we
saying-
get this fucking guy out of here so we can have some parties, please?"
I'm saying they were both part of the serious nature
Yeah.
of practices, but I'm saying it's a new era. It's different quarterback. Gotta,
Bill.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
Bill,
it'll
I
be-
like,
it'll
I
be
like the
interesting
way
to see.
Bill's acting. I loved
Yeah.
his commercial. I think he's a new Bill. Let's see how I really hope it pans out well. This is the first time as a Patriots fan in my entire life where I am not looking at a guaranteed playoff spot.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be 100% real with you.
Here we go.
Wait.
I would enjoy if you guys were absolute ass.
Well,
It would
okay.
bring me great joy.
You know what else would bring me great joy?
What?
Ben Roethlisberger tears his ACL game.
Okay,
1.
whoa. We are not. This is not the show we're running here. This is we're not doing this on the show. That's not. Excuse him. He's not part of the show anymore.
It's a meme. It's a meme.
We're not doing that. But I will say, Ben Roethlisberger needs to stop masturbating because he's gonna need his arm, unless you want Mason fucking Rudolph to do what he did last year.
I have no comment on that. Just gonna go to the next story. Tyrell Williams, Raiders receiver, torn labrum, out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's, you know.
I mean, they added Ruggs, still have Renfro.
And he's gonna
Josh
have an
Jacobs,
insane
Darren
rookie
Waller.
season, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to have Renfro as your number one at that point. I mean, Darren
They
Waller's
might
still
put
there.
Ruggs in.
No. I think they'll let him. Not at first. They might let him early on or later on, but I think they're gonna, just because he's very new. They want to make sure they don't put him at, kind of like how the Bucks, or not the Bucks, Pelicans. They never introduced Zion last. They never let him be the superstar because he's new. So I don't know if they'll let
What
him.
are you talking about?
I don't know if they'll let Henry Ruggs run the offense. So like,
He's
at
not gonna
first.
run the offense.
He'll run the wide receivers if he's number one.
Yeah, but
like there's
the hell are you talking about Zion for?
Well, I was comparing the fact that because they're both rookies,
Yeah.
they won't have as much control as they should, or as they could have later on.
What the? What are you talking?
We're gonna
about?
move
I mean,
on
I'm making
here.
perfect fucking sense. I don't know what you're. I don't know how
you-
many times I have to explain.
Are you
It's-
saying that because Zion didn't play early on? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Because
I'm
he
saying
was hurt and that's
so.
why he wasn't
So
playing.
when Pat McAfee went to go introduce the Pelicans,
Okay.
they said to Pat McAfee, "You can't introduce Zion last," and because they're purposely not letting Zion have control over the court, because they don't want him to think that he's the superstar yet. And I'm comparing that to, because Henry Ruggs is a rookie, they're not going to put him out on the pressure of having number one, because he's not going to be the number one yet. You got it?
I mean, I guess.
I understand where you're coming from, but like,
Two different
there's
sports, I
also-
get that, but
yeah.
Introductions and also giving Zion the ball on the floor are
Well-
two different things.
Well, no, I also just said that he wasn't going to have the voice control. Anyway.
I mean, yeah,
let's
voice
fucking-
control versus on field is different.
Tyro Williams being hurt should increase the amount of receptions that Henry Ruggs gets.
I hope so. I hope Henry Ruggs
I don't
does
know
well.
if that means that will lead the Raiders in receptions. I'm probably up there with Darren Waller as well. But like as
Is
far
he-
as
Is he?
I don't know if he'll beat out. It kind of depends on how they decide to run that offense. If they have Josh Jacobs be as involved as he was last year, because he was really good last year. So I don't know if they
Yeah.
just kind of run it.
Is he favorite to win Rookie of the Year?
Ruggs?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a
Um,
lot of rookies.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah. Look, every
It'll
year there's a
definitely-
lot of
yeah.
But like,
rookies.
there's a
7
there's
rounds.
a
There's a
lot.
lot of-
You know what I fucking
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, a lot
There's a
of
lot
good-
of really good
yeah,
rookies. Is what I'm saying.
Especially
I
the
think-
wide receivers.
It'll be a good race for Rookie of the Year for sure. Be a lot of contenders.
So Joe Burrow goes down with an injury week 1. That's going to be devastating for the Bengals.
I'm excited
Weren't
for.
you just shitting on me for saying something about that?
I'm
Yeah, but I
ex-
wasn't hoping for it. I was saying this is a possibility. You said, I hope Ben Roethlisberger
No,
fucking tears his
I hope-
ACL.
I didn't say I hope you putting words in my mouth. You said, you know what would make me happy? To loot. And I put words into your mouth.
But no, I'm excited for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back on the Chiefs. First running back off the board, number
Oh, yeah,
32 pick.
because Chiefs' number 1 running back opted out, right?
Yeah, Damian Williams is out for the season.
And they lost McCoy in off season.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's
Oh, no, he's on the... He went to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers aren't going to get...
Yeah, McCoy went to the
They're not going to get Fournette.
Josh. What did you say like 15 minutes
I did
ago?
say that
Teams
back-to-back should do the
teams
2-3 running
should
backs
have-
because of how well
yeah.
the 49ers
You
did.
did say that.
I did say that, so I'm going to have to...
You have to walk that
Gonna
back.
have to
like
walk that one
15
back.
Seconds.
Yeah.
You're contradicting your points just like
And when I
episode
brought
1.
this up, when I talked about Fournette to the Bucks, I mentioned McCoy and said that
That
would
is
be
true.
a decent
You did
backfield.
mention McCoy.
Yeah, it was a tough episode.
Yeah.
This is a
Okay, we're gonna move on because some things did happen in the MLB world. Red Sox.
It's about
are still,
time.
Red Sox are still very bad,
Oh,
and that did not
Correct.
change. But
Don't let them
the,
get hot though.
yeah,
Absolutely
the
not.
trade deadline did indeed pass, so that's kind of nice. There weren't as many trades as I thought. I mean, I'm happy that some of them that were rumored to that could possibly occur did not. Like JD Martinez is still a Red Sox. Would have been nice like if he decides to opt out, would have been nice to kind of get some sort of return for him if it decided to actually happen, but we did not, and he hasn't been doing that great this year, so maybe he won't opt out. Fingers crossed at the moment, because
very
losing
sad
him
about
would
Kevin
be
Pillar. Very
yeah,
sad.
but at the same time, like, I mean, right now the trade was for a player to be named later and international pool money.
Yeah. How does the
But like the fact that we just signed him in the off season at like a relatively like late signing, and not like we just randomly got him. Not a lot of other teams were like bidding with us, so like we kind of just randomly. The fact that we turned that into a player to be named later and international pool money is pretty nice.
How does that work?
how does the player to be named later work? Like what kind of restrictions are there
I
on
think
there?
a lot of that like right now is some of that could be because like the teams have the 60 player roster pool right now, and if that player is not in that 60 player roster pool, they can't be named yet because they're not on a technical roster. But also, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that.
Yeah.
That it's just an agreed upon later on player, because sometimes those players end up being relatively decent. Like we're not going to get like anywhere
we're not
close
gonna
to
get,
their
like, a
top
top
30.
prospects
Yeah,
or
not at
anything.
all. We're going to probably get some random dude in AA with like a 6 ERA, but it's whatever because
I know we're finally under the luxury tax now?
officially reset yesterday as well, or technically today, but officially reset. So hopefully this offseason we decide to spend some money. There's a decent amount of free agents. Hopefully we spend some money on
two
some
players
pitching.
to be named later, right? We made
We got
trades
one for Josh Osich, I want to say is how you pronounce his last name. Some random dude that I want to say we acquired him from waivers this offseason, I want to say. And we traded him to the Cubs for a player to be named later for some reason. For some reason, the Cubs wanted him in his like 5 ERA. I'm pretty sure his splits, like, I want to say he's a lefty, so I'm pretty sure his numbers against lefties were like really good, but then his numbers against righties were awful, so that's why he has a 5 ERA. So like he's really effective against lefties, so I guess the Cubs possibly like attempting. What are you doing right now?
I was checking to see how long we've been going. I didn't want to say how long have we been on because I forgot to say
47.5 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
You can ask me.
Well, I didn't want to in the middle of you talking,
Yeah.
I respect the non-cutting offness.
I gotta
That's
be
nice.
honest.
I just had to
didn't
lean
really
my
know.
neck over the table if you're the computer.
I didn't really know like the majority of our pitching staff going
Yeah,
into the
I mean
season.
understandable. I only know I've probably paid attention way more than I should have as a human being to the Red Sox this year.
I was like, oh, who do
For
we have
my
in our pitching
mental-
staff? Oh, Eduardo Rodriguez. Yeah, that's right.
Gonzo.
Gone. Yep.
Yeah. So, also, I mean, I think the only trade that I was like really sad about that occurred was trading Mitch Moreland. I know it had to happen.
Yeah.
Like, just
It was tough.
a great play. Like, there's no negatives you could say about Mitch Moreland. Like, he was he wasn't a star player. I mean, this year he's pretty good, but like he wasn't like a star player. He never really had times that he was really bad. Like, he was just consistently
Wasn't he
putting up numbers that he was.
Wasn't he an All-Star 2 years ago? During that World Series year?
20 probably. It wouldn't
I think he
surprise
was
me.
with
Feels like everyone
I
was
think it
there.
was Martinez, him, Betts, and then
We had-
Kimbrel and
we had-
Sale.
Yeah, I think we had 6 or 7 All-Stars that year. We had a lot.
He's going to the Padres. The Padres might make a run for this thing.
Maybe.
They're trying.
Also,
They traded for Clevenger, too.
Little side note. Craig Kimbrel. Back to blowing saves again.
Oh, you had to see
Blew
it coming.
one with a wild pitch.
Oh, that's the
It was a
worst.
tie game.
We've
bottom of the
seen
ninth,
that
bases
before.
loaded, threw a wild pitch, and then the runner from third scored.
Yeah.
Man, I do not miss Greg Kimbrell.
No.
I don't miss the heart attack. Well, you said that you watched a highlight video during
He
quarantine.
nearly
Go ahead, run
blew
that.
every save situation that he went into during that postseason. I don't know how we managed to win the World Series that year with him as our closer.
What year was that?
2018.
2018.
2018. Yep.
World
and
Series.
he, and he
2 years ago.
blew.
He was 6 for 6 in save opportunities.
Somehow, I don't.
Gave up a run in like 2 or 3
Yeah,
of those
I think
6
there
save
was like
opportunities.
4 games straight in the postseason where he gave up 2 or more runs in the ninth inning, which is not how you want to
It's tough,
play
but
baseball.
Crazy. But, I mean,
And,
he
like,
somehow got it
and
done. I don't know how, but
at least 2 of those, a crazy play is what ended it. Like the Benintendi catch in
Benintendi's
Houston,
catch.
and then Nunez's play in Game 4 of the ALDS against the Yankees. And then Steve Pearce made a heck of a play as well, like
Oh, yeah,
making
that
the stretch,
was
like
insane.
bang bang play like crazy.
Did the Yankees make any moves?
No, not really.
I guess they didn't really have to.
No, they did have to. They just didn't
Oh,
for some
did
reason.
they?
have the
They-
prospects to do it, and they just didn't.
They were on a 7-game losing streak.
But like they
Until,
like
2 games
they
ago, I
need
think.
they definitely could have used at least one more starting. Like yes, they have 2 prospects that could possibly slot into the rotation, but just having like another security arm is kind of something that you need as a team that's attempting to go into the post, or even just another outfielder just to like, because like Judge and Stanton and Hicks are all down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're now second in the American League East. Rays are up by 3.5 games now.
Judge is hurt.
Yeah, he went back and he came back.
Is he?
I'm not sure
Is
if
he
it-
worth the money that they want to give him? Because he's been hurt. What? How long has he been in the league?
big
4
debate.
or 3 years?
His debut was in 20. His first full year was 2017.
Because when he's good, he's good. Or when he's good, he's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He can get hot very quickly. He can just moonshot fucking home runs all day. But I feel like he gets hurt quite often.
Yeah, he hasn't
and
had
for a long time.
he hasn't had a full healthy season since
For his rookie year,
2017.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, some of the injuries are kind of out of his control. Like one of them got hit in the hand. You can't really
Yeah.
control that.
Yeah.
But like he's had like
It's the Carson Wentz of the NFL.
yeah,
or
he's,
the
he had, like calf
MLB.
strains and shoulder injuries and just stuff that like it's wild how often Yankees players get hurt. I mean, that's been like their storyline for the last few years.
Yeah.
But it is like insane. Like they
So-
got like hired a new trainer and everything to attempt to fix that, and it's still happening.
I don't
It's
think that's really how
absolute-
that works.
But like they tried to fix something. Like
Yeah.
it's just it seems like at like the last 2 years it was just like
Just
every
bad luck.
2 or 3 weeks they'd have some star player go down.
Hate to have a bunch of star players
Mm-hmm.
and then be riddled with
You
injuries
have
every
to
year.
throw all the money.
It
on
is
people.
tough.
Yeah.
It is tough.
You know who's my favorite Red Sox of all time right now, I think?
Who?
Bobby Dalbec, I think.
Bobby Delbeck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what a debut. What a fucking debut.
Yeah, I mean the only reason he came up was because Mitch Moreland got traded, which made me sad. But then the fact that he hit a home run in his debut,
Was that his first at bat or his second at bat?
It was
he went
his
2
second.
for 4.
it
Right?
was second.
2 for 4 home run.
Yeah, that right fielder just lost the ball. Like I
Yeah.
didn't even see it in the stands. To be
It
honest,
went
watching
pretty
that
far
video.
considering, but I
Yeah.
mean the wind definitely
the-
took it.
the wind
but
definitely-
he has a lot of. I don't. It's just like, I don't. I mean, I love Bobby Dobek. Don't get me wrong. Like I have a lot of high hopes for him. It's just as far as like Tristan Cassis is also a first baseman.
Yep.
Hitting our number 2 prospect, and Tristan Cassis should be nasty. Like
yeah, that video you sent to our group chat.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
of him
fucking
hitting the. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
him and Joey Votto's stance and like swing and everything are like identical.
Yeah.
And if
Oh, yeah,
you-
I saw
it-
the
fa- like,
frame
just-
by frame.
Yeah,
That's
that-
just
that home run
crazy.
was
Joey
fucking
Votto is
cranked.
another type of hitter. So like if you have anything remotely close to that, and he's 21 right now,
How's our pitching prospects look like? We got any of those?
not really.
Oh, okay.
Would have been nice to
From-
trade for some of
Would
those.
have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have been.
Yeah,
pretty
from
good to have,
so
one of the main
for,
needs.
for Mitch Moreland, we got third baseman Hudson Potts and center fielder Jason Rosario. I want to say his first name is. Yes, they're neither of them are pitching prospects, but what's it called? Potts was our first round pick in 2016. Was the number 16th ranked prospect of the Padres at the time of the trade. I want to say now he ranks as our 20th prospect. So I mean, and then Jason Rosario, center fielder, he was signed internationally also in 2016, and he ranks as our 16th ranked prospect. But the fact that you can get that for a 34, 35-year-old first baseman
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
possible 1 year left on the contract, I mean,
Solid.
so yeah, I'm sure that
The Red Sox lose a lot of people soon. Or could possibly lose a lot of people. Jackie Bradley Jr. is free agent at the end of the season. I hope we get him. Matt Barnes free agent at the end of next
Oh.
season.
JBJ, great defensive player, but
I think he's gone.
he's been struggling offensively
So
quite
Bloom
a
was
bit.
talking about him today, as if he was like David Ortiz. Like it was
Jesus.
but like he was like talking about like the impact that he's had. Like yes, he's been like his first year is 2013. He's won 2 World Series champions. He's
Yeah.
championships. I can't
Yeah.
speak English. He's been on our team for a long time, his entire career.
Gold Glove winner.
Yeah, like has been like in the clubhouse. He's not necessarily a leader,
Gold
but
Glove
like
candidate almost every year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, was it the ALCS? He
ALCS,
won
yeah.
the
MVP.
MVP of ALCS.
Only had 3 hits, but all of them
all
were
them home runs.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
Well, one of them
or
was
no,
a
one of them
bases
was
clearing.
double
double.
that like rolled on
Yeah.
the edge of the wall.
Yeah.
Remember
So
that was
just
nasty.
really clutch hitting in the ALCS in all 3. I mean, he only hit 2 under in that series, but regardless of that, all 3 of his hits mattered. But like they were talking about him, they were saying that some of that like they hope that like I mean that's what you're gonna say to someone that's a free agent as far as having a player that you want him in a Red Sox uniform for the rest of his career. Like you're gonna say that, but like he like emphasized like how much he means to the team and
Yeah.
like how important he is in the clubhouse and everything. How that like they don't want someone like that to leave.
Well, we don't know how he is in the clubhouse. You know, he could be an absolute leader, and that could be what he was.
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about, like
sure he
Ortiz
is a
was the
big
leader.
presence. He's been there for a long time. He's
Yeah.
been through a lot. He's had good times. He's had really bad times. Like I'm sure he is a big voice in that clubhouse. But to say that and then
Not
less,
show it on
less.
offense.
But, well, I mean, yes, but like less than a year ago, you trade away Mookie Betts, who also
Yeah.
had top 3 player in all of baseball.
I mean, the Mookie trade was more for cap space purposes.
Yeah, like it was
he couldn't
specifically
afford
to
the
try to get
contract.
rid of David Price's contract as well, and not knowing if you're going to be able to re-sign Mookie. Like I totally get that. They definitely should have, but whatever. We're not going to talk about that. It just makes me sad thinking
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But like the fact that like Mookie Betts has also been at the time also a Red Sox his entire career, fully homegrown talent, like big voice in the clubhouse,
Better
like
hitter than
and-
Bradley Jr. So
yes, insanely. But like even more than just like output, just as far as like what he meant to the team. Like Mookie Betts is like one of the leaders in the clubhouse, like hands down. Like
Yeah.
that's undeniable. Like he was just one. I don't know how you can like make that argument. I understand it's because Jack Bradley Jr. is a free agent and he wants to like, oh yeah, this is why I didn't trade him because like he said that like people were like, as far as the people saying that, oh, why didn't they trade him? Like if he's a free agent at the end of the year, like just try to get some sort of return. And Bloom was like, that's not how I think about things. Like I'm not like, oh, this guy's going to be gone, so I'm going to trade him just to get some sort of return.
yeah,
from
but
it.
you did though.
But I was talking about Jackie Bradley
Yeah,
Jr.
no, I'm saying, but like you said, like you don't say that when not.
Yeah,
4 months ago you did
I
the
just-
exact same thing.
I'm just upset about it.
Vasquez might be a Red Sox forever. After what he said the other day, I'm very excited. He said,
I'm personally, I mean, I am full pro Christian Vasquez.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I remember him making his major
he
league
said
debut.
that he is relieved that he is still a Red Sox and that he is still wearing this beautiful uniform.
It was
which
good to
is
see. It was
good
good to
news.
see.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, also at the same time, one of the teams the Red Sox were like technically
In talks
rumored to be in talks with as far as that goes is the Rays. The Rays have a decent amount of pitching prospects. Chaim Bloom,
would have been nice.
former GM of said Tampa Bay Rays,
Yeah.
is the person that is the reason why those prospects are there. He knows, like, those are his prospects. Like, he got them there. Like, so he
Yeah.
knows what prospects he's high on. So if he can be like, yo, Christian Vasquez for some of those prospects.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I don't want Christian Vasquez to go. Like, I totally, like, we have him under control for another 2-3 years or whatever it is
Yeah.
still on his contract. And, like, he's good, relatively good offensive catcher, really good defensive catcher, and a good leader in the clubhouse. He's been there a decently long time, but we're in need of pitching prospects.
Yes.
And if it's something, Vasquez is what, 30, 31 now. He's not young, up and coming player. Like as a catcher, as far as like offensively, really only has a couple more years as far as like actually being solid. Like it probably will still be good defensively, but just if you can get some sort of return out of him now, it would not surprise me if this offseason if he was gone, especially with a certain man named JT Realmuto being a free agent this offseason.
Yep.
The Red Sox were like, yeah, just throw a bunch of money. Would that make me slightly upset because they could have done the exact same thing for Mookie Betts slightly? I mean, JT Realmuto is not getting anywhere near that money, obviously. JT
Yeah.
Realmuto is one of the best, if not the best, offensive catchers in the game, so like, he should get a lot of money, but not absolutely insane. But like, if they trade Christian for that and then invest that money into JT Realmuto, I wouldn't be entirely upset about it.
Would have been nice
Uh-huh.
for some pitching prospects.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we're out this season anyway. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we're looking
Yeah.
for the off season for that.
Sitting
Let's
at-
move on a little bit from the Red Sox did other MLB trades. The one that I really, really want to talk about is the Padres. I'm not saying I'm not a Red Sox fan, but I'm pulling for the Padres this
I
year.
mean, you can have an NL team. There's
yeah.
nothing against that. You
Yeah.
can have an NL team. It's
Okay.
the other league.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
You
So
say
yeah, I'm pulling for the Padres.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Padres have been nothing to me my entire life, except for that one team that was on the Drake and Josh.
Oh yeah.
and that's the foam finger episode. That's the only thing I've known the Padres for my entire life, and here they are making an absolute push, and they want to win now because they know that they can with the shortened season. They know it's their time. They ship out. A lot of people are saying too many prospects, but they still have.
None of them were
They
very
were-
high ranking.
Yeah, they still have
a lot. Most of their top prospects.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Where were they ranked in regards to the league and their farm system? They're like top 5 in prospects.
They're towards the top. I mean, I haven't paid attention as far as ranking because the Red Sox are like dead last or close. So I used to be something I paid attention to, like
Yeah.
2014, 2015, when the Red Sox farm system was nasty,
Yeah.
and then we traded all of those away for players we won the World Series championship with. So
That worked.
I think
Not
the
really.
Padres are making a push.
Yeah.
And I think they're in win now mode, and
Yeah.
they're going to do it this season if they
I
can. So
mean-
I'm hoping for them.
yeah, they got solid relievers. They got 2 new catchers. They got a new member of the rotation in Clevenger. What else did they get?
Where was Clevenger in the Indians rotation?
As far as this year, let's see. So Bieber would be number 1. I don't know, cause he was having a pretty decent year. Plesac was having a pretty good year.
Yeah, I know the Indians rotation. They were doing
Carrasco's
pretty
there
well.
too. I mean, I would probably
Like 3.
probably like 3 or so. I don't know as far as like fully rotation, cause
Yeah.
like the last 3 or 4 guys can kind of be rotated through. I don't know exactly
Yeah.
where he started in it, but
Yeah,
That's
the Padres.
solid
The
there.
Padres made 3 moves. It looks
and
like.
then they got Trevor Rosenthal from the Royals
Mhm.
as a new big member of their bullpen.
And I understand people complaining, maybe saying they gave away too many prospects or whatever. But the Padres aren't a real they're not. It's not that they're not a real team, but they're never contenders
Oh yeah.
until right now. So
bottom
if
of
they
the barrel.
want to if they want this super,
Take it.
yikes! If they want this World Series,
Yeah.
take advantage
Super
of
Bowl
the
in
shortened
MLB.
season you have, the talent you have right now that might not pan out next season.
Mhm.
Get it done now, and I think they can.
Yeah,
think
I
they're
mean,
hot.
you have to catch it while it's hot. Like, yes, they still have a lot of young, really good players. Like, but just like right now, you have Eric Hosmer performing ridiculous. I mean, Tatis is just Tatis. You can't really.
Yeah.
That's
He's
just
still the home run leader.
has to be up there. I don't know if he still is, but up there. Manny Machado's on fire. Hate Manny Machado, but he's on fire right now.
Yeah, fuck
and
Manny Machado.
him being in San Diego makes me hate him a lot less, but I still don't like him that much.
The Padres have not made the playoffs since 2006.
Well, what did they do then? How far did they go?
They lost in the divisional series.
Ooh,
That's
yeah,
wild. So we were like 5 or 6 years old the last time.
yeah, that's tough. I want to move on just away from baseball for a little while. I just want to run through the NHL news just because none of us are very too knowledgeable in the NHL. We're trying for the show, especially. We all are Bruins fans. They struggled heavy in this series,
Sad.
losing 4-1. Who I think Tampa is going to win the whole thing. I thought whoever won this series was winning the whole thing, and I think Tampa's going to. They dominated, especially Game 2.
No, I think it was game 3.
Game
or
3,
4. I think
seven.
Game 3, 7-1.
Yeah, we got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, that's one of those
Howard
moments
gave
where you're
up
like,
4,
damn,
and
Rask.
then we had that dude debut, and he ended up giving 3 for a total of
That's
7.
Awful. That's real bad. But they struggled heavy this season. The New York Islanders and why did I say
Good
it
English.
like that? The Islanders and Vegas, I believe. Yeah, both led their series 3-1 against the Flyers and the Canucks. The
Connect.
Canucks.
Yeah.
There we go.
Your English is-
It's on
Great.
point. The Dallas Stars lead the Colorado Avalanche 3-2. So that's about how much NHL news you're going to get from this show.
Yeah.
Is a little rundown. We'll try to like I said, I gave a little insight on McAvoy. Yeah, I gave a name out. McAvoy gets nearly killed last night. I mean, it was one of the I can't believe he got up to skate off. I was like, there's gonna have to be something here because I swear to God, dude, his head went straight into the wall and it looked like his neck was just being pushed into his shoulders. It was devastating to watch.
So I have 2 more small things related to MLB, and then we can continue on to NBA.
All right.
because these are minor things. But as far as like teams that surprisingly actually like seems like they're trying to buy and like actually, I mean, extended playoffs like totally, but like actually really trying to like make a playoff run. Toronto Blue Jays. At the beginning of the season, you would not expect that at all. Because, like, I mean, they have, like, good young players, but just as far as, like, from a development standpoint, you wouldn't expect them to be a playoff team this year. But they're like, yeah, let's just go trade for, so they traded for Ross Stripling from the Dodgers, solid rotation piece. They traded for Taijuan Walker from the Mariners, who is a decent starter, just as far as having, like, actual starters in your rotation. And then they also got, who else did they get? Traded for Jonathan VR from the Marlins. But, like, Marlins also weird because, like, they traded away Jonathan VR to the Blue Jays, but then they traded for Starling Marte from the Diamondbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, are the Marlins, like, are the Marlins trying to win? Or, like, I don't know. I mean,
the Marlins have been doing pretty well for a while.
I mean, they might be like just on the cusp. I don't know.
They're 2.5 games in the NL East behind the Braves right now.
They're in second place right now, so they have a playoff spot. It's top 2 teams in each division.
Oh,
so yeah, they have a playoff spot. But that's surprising. That's interesting that they would trade away VR. I don't know what their middle and I think pretty sure they have one of their. I don't remember what his name is. Isan Diaz, or it could be wrong, is what's it called, prospect dude they have, a middle infielder. So maybe, and I know he opted out of the season at the beginning, but he decided to come back. So maybe to have room for him, they traded away VR to the Blue Jays. But I just found it interesting that like the Blue Jays also got Robbie Ray from the Diamondbacks. Just like that they actually like are attempting to get pitchers from other teams. I mean, Ross Stripling was like the big name that I saw. He was an all-star in 2018, like a solid. Hasn't had a great year this year, but I think I was just surprised that the Dodgers just kind of like shipped him off.
Leonard Fournette. There's like just news that just is coming out now. Leonard Fournette files $4.167 million grievance against the Jaguars.
Yeah, that was for his contract that he's supposed to earn this year.
Yep, they voided. It's tough.
But yeah, that's pretty much it from the MLB standpoint. As far as like for future episodes, the next couple weeks we'll probably be less focused on this because the Red Sox are still hot garbage.
Yeah,
well, and
deadline, so
trade
football's back, baby.
That too.
Yeah.
College football. Let's talk about it real quick. College football is back. Whether it's 2 teams that you've never heard of before in your entire life, it doesn't matter. They're back, and they started off to an electric beginning with the first play of the game. Was it an option?
75-yard run. Yeah, I think it was an option. Quarterback pitched it and then took it to the house 75 yards.
Incredible.
First play.
So, dude, when I saw that, I was like, let's go. I didn't know that it was even on. You texted me, and I was like, what?
Telling you about it.
There's college football?
It was like the last couple minutes of the game, and it was very close. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Are you talking about college basketball?
Yeah, I was like, basketball?
No, football. Like I sent a video to you guys in the group chat on Instagram.
I didn't see it till after. I was like, what the
that was the thing that happened.
Very excited. Love college football.
Yeah, it was Austin, PA. I don't know how to pronounce it. And Central Arkansas, I think.
No idea.
There were 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes.
You'd love to see it.
One team scored a go-ahead with like just under 2 minutes, and then with 34 seconds, Central Arkansas scored the final touchdown.
Awesome. I love college football.
And, Austin, PA, they had a chance. They were at like the 35-ish yard, the opponent's 35-yard line, threw a Hail Mary, terrible throw.
Oh yeah, you texted me. I think I just saw the worst Hail Mary attempt of my life.
Wobbly as hell. It was like 10 yards short of the end zone. It was trash. It got picked off.
Yeah, well, he's from fucking who gives a shit college. So I mean, what do you? He's not there to play football. He's there to get his biology degree or something like that. Yeah. If he wanted to go play football, he would have went to a real school. I'm the only one out of the 3 of us that's not in college.
You've never been in a college before.
Well, I mean, I've walked in them. I've been to a campus, couple to a church.
Attended a college before.
Well,
for educational purposes.
Okay, I was about to say, well, that depends on what attend. Attend can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people.
Okay, let's move on to
All right.
NBA news.
NBA, Noah,
NBA.
this is all you.
NBA.
Talk directly into this
So,
microphone.
yeah.
I want you to be inhaling it.
So, as Boston fans here, Celtics.
You
Celtics
love
are pretty
to
much our
see
last
it.
hope, because Patriots had unfortunate end last year and very iffy looking this year, and Bruins sadly eliminated the other day.
Yeah,
Red Sox sitting at 12-23, bottom
don't
of
let
the
them
AL
get hot,
East.
but
Don't let
So
them get to
Celtics,
15 wins. Don't let it
Game
happen.
1 of the second round against the Raptors. I think the outcome of the series very debatable going into it. I think a lot of people were kind of like 50-50 on it.
yeah,
Both very good teams defensively and offensively. Raptors very deep team. You know, Celtics a lot of stars. Game 1, Celtics had control the entire game. They end up winning by 18. I think they're up by at most like 24 or something like that. I think Raptors,
shocking,
Yeah.
shocking game one
Yeah.
blowout.
I think the Raptors got it down to 9, like late in the second quarter, and that was the lowest they got it down. And Celtics took control once again, and then it was they just cruised throughout the second half.
Game 2 just
Game
ended about
two-
an hour ago.
Game
We
2
just
ended about
watched
an
it.
hour ago. We were watching it. Celtics weren't looking too good in that third
Oh
quarter.
no, or the first or second.
I didn't see the first
Kemba
half.
at least was not.
Oh yeah,
looking
Kemba was
good
like
in the
1
first
for
half.
10 to start.
When we checked in, he was 2 for 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was his
6
what was
points.
his 3-point percentage? He made 1, I think, all game.
He started off from 3 0 for 7.
Come on now, Kemba.
But yeah, they made a pretty good run in the beginning of that fourth quarter, and then
They were down by
at most
12, correct? I think?
12.
Yep.
Yes. And then Smart came up super clutch in that fourth quarter. Hit 5 straight threes.
Only the second
Uh,
NBA player to do it. I think they said.
No, they said the record was in a quarter for the playoffs was 6. I forget who they said did it. but,
someone from Denver did it twice. They said.
Yeah, and he ended up with 16 fourth quarter points after scoring just 3 points in the first 3. And Celtics take a 2-0 lead on the Raptors.
It's looking good.
Celtics are looking good right now.
Looking good.
Glad we didn't have a repeat of last year.
Oh yeah, at least we can
because
win.
We
can
swept
win
the
too.
Pacers in the first round, blew out the Bucks game 1 of the second round, and then lost 4 straight.
Yeah,
They
that
got
was
eliminated.
devastating to watch. Well, we're a different team, completely different team.
Oh,
The
yeah.
chemistry. You don't have Kyrie just setting off nukes in the locker room for no reason before the game starts.
All right, and we got both LA teams close out their series. Lakers in 5.
The
Clippers in
Lakers
6.
very impressively kind of took off after losing the first game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take into that Damian Lillard was hurt.
Yeah.
For from game 2, and then he missed game 5, and the Blazers actually had a solid chance to win game 5, which I was surprised. Carmelo Anthony put up like 29, I think. So he had a pretty solid game. He's a free agent this year. I think he said he wants to sign back with Portland. He said he's found a home there. And the Clippers, they beat the Mavericks. They had a pretty solid lead in the fourth. Mavericks started to close in on it. I think they got within 6, and then they just struggled offensively. I think Luka didn't really have a lot of help that game. A lot of missed threes.
I think
And
his ankle was bothering
obviously-
him as well, right?
Obviously, Porzingis being out was a big loss. Walking injury. Torn meniscus, and I think they said he tore his meniscus in game 2 or something. But yeah, Luka definitely has a bright future. He's only 21. He averaged like 31 points per game and like 8 and 8 for assists and rebounds in his first career playoff series, which is absolutely insane. Probably going to be the face of the league pretty soon, if not already. And then you had the whole situation between him and Marcus Morris, which
Insane how that
started off
played
with-
out in the entire series.
Yeah, start off with Morris stepping on Luka's ankle. I think it was in game 4 or 5, and it was debatable on whether people thought it was intentional or unintentional. I think looking at it from the above the rim cam, it kind of seemed like it was an accident, but then you see the courtside view, and it seemed like
looks
he
right
went
at it.
he went out of his way to step on his ankle, and then after him fucking wailing on Luka's head as he was going for a layup
Yeah.
in Game 6.
And Luka even came out after and said, I didn't think anything of the first one,
Yeah.
but now that it's happened twice,
Yeah.
I wonder if the first one was on purpose.
Yeah. So,
Some of the rewards, right? Yearly rewards released.
yeah. Nick Nurse won Coach of the Year. I mean, I think everybody saw this coming. Despite losing Kawhi Leonard in the offseason, they're still, right where they were last year, if not, I think, a little bit better. Their win percentage was up from 70 to 73%. They second in the East once again. Their offense went down a little bit, but their defense went up. I think their points per game dropped like 2 points per game, but their opponents' points per game also dropped too. So it kind of evened out. Defensive player of the year, Giannis. I think it was between him and AD. Giannis 13.6 rebounds per game, 1 steal and 1 block per game. Helped the Bucks lead NBA in defensive rating. Also helped them in second fewest second chance points, and held opponents to a league lowest 41.4 field goal percentage.
Awesome.
And then we had Brandon Ingram for most improved player, which was also foreseen by a lot of people. He had a pretty good second year.
Did the Lakers get rid of the wrong guy? Do you think they should have gotten rid of Kuzma over? I saw a lot of talk about this on NBA Twitter, by the way, probably the most active Twitter of all time. They're very diehard fans of the NBA, and I saw a lot of discussion about whether it should have been Kuzma and if they could have got more from the Pelicans if they got rid of Kuzma instead of it, which I believe they probably could.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it's hard to tell because
Kuzma's had a decent bubble.
Yeah, in the
right?
bubbles, Kuzma's been playing fairly well. Because Ingram is kind of the number 1, sort of number 2 maybe when Zion's there. So if you put him on a team with AD and LeBron, you probably don't see his stats go up as much as they did this year.
Yeah.
And he went from 18.3 to 23.8 points per game. Rebounds per game went up 1. Shooting percentage went down 3%, but his 3-point percentage went up 6. Free throw percentage went up almost 20%. Doubled his steals per game. Had a pretty good year this year.
Yep.
And then round 1 still isn't over. We got 2 Game 7s. First we'll go with the Thunder and the Rockets after a Game 5 blowout.
And
by the
you know,
Rockets.
when you asked me that day, who's winning, and I said the
Yeah,
Rockets.
yeah,
I said Westbrook's back. I mean, it's just
so I was like, yeah, do you think OKC's forcing a Game 7? You're like, no.
And now that I've seen Chris Paul stare into the soul of James Harden,
God.
and I think the Thunder's taking it. I believe the Thunder's
It's
winning Game
possible.
7.
It's tough because I think Houston might match up better with LA because they'd stretch that. But I don't know though because LA's also got. It'd be an interesting matchup.
Are you
Houston
saying you
versus
want
LA.
Thunder to lose so that the Raptors because they have a better chance of beating the?
What are you saying, Raptors
Nope.
for?
Nope, that's not it. That's not
Nope.
correct.
That's not
The Rockets.
that's not- the Rockets. There you
The
go.
Rockets, because they have
Proud
a
of
better
you.
chance of beating LA.
I don't know because Chris Paul's been able to take over the game in these situations.
Yeah, but I
and
think you need more than just one player to
I mean,
go against the
obviously, yeah,
Lakers.
but I don't know. It's tough. I think it'll be an interesting matchup either way. But let's talk about Westbrook choking the game away. Costly turnover, down 2 with like 4 seconds
Dude,
to
and he
go.
was the reason that I said that they were going to
Yeah, I
win. And I
know.
was like, Westbrook's going to have a fucking game. And he did have a game. It
Yeah.
was just for the other fucking
7
team.
turnovers. He airballed like a mid-range from like the free throw line with like nobody in his face either. He was pretty open. And he airballed pretty badly. It was tough.
Yikes.
Luckily for him, though, Harden came with like an amazing fucking save from that ball. and managed to keep possession. Fucking came zooming down the court, was able to jump, save it, and throw it off one of the Thunder's players.
So I think
knock it out of bounds.
I think Thunder wins Game 7, and then I also think for the other Game 7 game,
Nuggets Jazz.
Nuggets Jazz.
I mean, they're playing right now.
Oh, they are. The Game 7 is right now. I think they're in
Yeah.
quarter 3 at the moment.
By the time this is uploaded, it'll be over.
Yeah, by the time
End
it
of
was
the third.
Okay.
Nuggets are up 5, 65-60 right now.
All right.
Let me check the box score.
What is your prediction right now?
I
Josh?
wanted
'Cause by
to
the time- by
instantly
the
say the
time-
Nuggets, but
Damn.
By the time this is like fully uploaded, people will be listening to it probably tomorrow. The
Yeah.
game will definitely be over. So
As of right now, Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray, they've been the stars of the series for
dude,
sure.
I saw a post and I really was like, you know what, let's fucking do it. It was like just have them go 1-on-1 for
Yeah.
Game 7.
All right. Right now, Mitchell's got 20, and Murray's only got 13.
Oh, okay.
But the
Then
thing is-
Jamal Murray's coming back.
Yeah,
He's
the thing
gonna go
is,
crazy.
Fourth quarter, Jamal Murray has been
Yeah.
insane this series.
Yep. So Jamal's gonna win that.
For some series stats between the two throughout the first 6 games, let's see. Jamal, hold on. I think I might have mixed up these two. Give me 1 second.
Oh my God.
Relax.
It's always something with
Relax.
this.
Stat man over
Relax.
here.
Yeah, I did mix up the two. All right.
Uh,
So we got Donovan Mitchell averaging 38.7 points per game. Murray averaging 34. Mitchell shooting 54.8%. Murray shooting 58.5% from the field.
neck and neck throughout every single. Holy shit.
Mitchell shooting 55.4% from 3. Murray shooting 57.4% from 3, which is insane. Those are super high percentages from 3-point line. And then Mitchell shooting 94.6 from the free throw line, and Murray shooting 91.3% from the free throw line.
They definitely have been
Both-
the thing to watch this postseason so far.
Both players have had 2 50-point games in this series, which is
That's insane.
crazy. This is the first NBA series in the history to have 2 players have multiple 50-point games in a single series.
They've been killing it all season, and I liked after Game 1. I think it was Mitchell posted an Instagram live of him and was like, "Look who I just fucking saw."
Oh yeah.
After he just dropped 50 on me.
Oh yeah,
and
it was Murray, I think. And yeah, so should be this fourth quarter should be interesting. 5-point game, Game 7.
Yeah, well,
Should
we're
be
gonna have to
crazy.
go watch it. So, I think before we close out the show, I do want to say, it's not 100% to do with sports, but he did play a sports person in a movie. I'm not so sure about Luke, but I know me and you are huge Marvel fans,
Oh yeah.
and so
Relatively.
like you've seen Black
Yeah, yeah.
Panther. Chadwick. I don't want to get his last name wrong.
Chadwick Boseman.
That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to
Yeah.
just in
yeah.
case.
Gotcha.
Chadwick Boseman sadly died at 43
Yep.
years old from colon cancer. Nobody knew that he was going through it. He recorded, I think they said now, up to 7 movies he did
Yeah.
while having cancer. Was
Absolutely
Jackie Robinson
wild.
one of those? 42?
That came
was-
out before
That
then.
came out before.
Came out
then.
before, right before.
Yeah, it was insane because he died on Jackie Robinson Day.
Yep, he
It was
did.
Jackie Robinson Day. I think is usually April 15th, but because of
Yeah.
COVID
Because of
and
COVID and
everything,
everything, they moved it.
switched it,
Wow,
and he died on Jackie Robinson Day. I mean,
absolutely insane. I mean,
he's-
tragic. It's a big loss. He was, whether this isn't even a political statement, what he did for the African American community, by the roles that he played or the impact he did, or not even just the African American community, but the cancer community as well. You can see there's a lot of his pictures of him being at the Children's Hospital for cancer.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
he's wearing a lot of baggy clothes, and when you go through chemotherapy, they tell you to wear baggy clothes. So I wonder if he was in the hospital getting chemo, and then right after was like, I'm gonna go and entertain some kids who are going to have his the thing that put a smile on his face was making the kids that had cancer have a smile on their face, and the fact that he was going through the exact same struggle
Yeah.
is insane. So we do just want to give our thoughts out to the families.
I mean,
And-
absolutely like iconic for representation of
Absolutely.
African American role models.
Just some of the role. Never mind the fact that he played Black Panther, a fictional character like,
Yeah.
like Jackie Robinson, who,
Thurgood Marshall, James Brown.
incredible. Just the things that he could do, and the fact that he was able. There's a story Michael B. Jordan just told that he was able to turn down roles
Yeah.
that he didn't think represented the African American community the right way. He said there was a couple, I think 3 roles in total. He said, "I'm not doing that. I just want to." So I know we don't want to end the show on a sad note, but we are very just want to give our condolences out to everybody. Wanted to mention it. And 42 is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. He
I've
puts a
seen it a
lot of
couple times.
emotion in it. It's a fantastic movie. I watched it again the other day because I'm trying to watch all of his movies again. But yep, that's the end of the show, guys. Sorry about it ending on such a sad note.
If you want to end it with a, I mean, I don't know if it's not really that much better of a note. I mean, compared to that.
Compared to
So the Red Sox are only losing 10-3.
all right.
And,
All right.
Hey,
and
you know what?
Don't let the Sox get hot.
Let's give it up for the Sox.
And
Let's give it up.
Marcell Ozuna became the first National League player in Fenway Park history to hit 3 home runs in one game.
Do not. Go ahead. You got to say something.
I mean,
Do not let the Braves get hot. Is
No.
that what
No,
we're saying
Noah
right
was
now?
like,
I mean, you didn't have to mention that part. We were celebrating the Sox.
yeah, we were
there.
celebrating the Sox, Luke. That was a little.
It was a little.
You're really
it was a-
derailing the
that
show
was a
here.
vibe
We're on a
killer
high
right there.
note, and
Killed the
then
vibe.
the
It's
vibe
just
was killed.
separate.
Vibe
It's just
was
separate
killed.
news.
Yeah, it is separate news, and you know what? We appreciate that, Luke. Trying to
We're only losing 10-3.
hey,
Could be worse.
don't let the Sox get hot.
Don't let them get hot.
That's what I'll end on. I'll end on that every week until the fucking
They're not mathematically eliminated yet.
not yet. Until they
yet.
are mathematically eliminated, the Red Sox have a
Hey.
chance to win the World Series.
We are, as of right now, 6.5 games. No, I lied.
Ooh.
I lied to you.
Oh god.
7.
I'm
No.
trying to
A
figure
lot-
this
a
out.
lot of
We are a
games.
lot of games out.
8.5 games out of a playoff spot right now.
Hey, streaks happen.
Streaks happen. We are what? Let's see.
Usually they happen with teams with good
We
pitching.
have-
Yeah, usually happens with good teams.
We have 25 games left.
It's
I'm gonna
it's
tell you what.
possible.
I'm gonna tell you
It's
what, guys.
possible.
I
Don't
think
let
I'm
'em get hot.
I might be the first person to say this on any media show or anything.
Bet.
I don't think the Red Sox are taking it this year. All right, guys, that's the show. Thank you for joining us. Join us next week. Where hopefully we get some more news about NFL, and hopefully Dan Snyder doesn't have a job by then. Right? We all
That would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be
Alright.
nice.
thank you guys for joining us. We all had a great time again. See you next week.